Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. In today's episode, I want you to keep an open mind to the story because this is a very interesting story, but it's about an aspect that many people think is untrue. So, let's get into the video. In life, people often encounter circumstances that defy normality, such as ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, and other supernatural activity. Most of these occurrences usually lack credibility because they are personal events involving one or two persons that often experience something extraordinary. However, these are never captured on camera and usually there is no proof or evidence to support these claims. Now, if I tell you about a time when I was walking from my house to my friend's house and I experienced something supernatural, like I saw a UFO or a ghost, you would have your reservations and I wouldn't blame you. However, today's story is not about my creepy encounter with a ghost, but rather it's a story that has gained popularity because of the events surrounding this particular incident. In 2002, a group of soldiers went missing in a remote mountain area of Kandahar, which is in the south side of Afghanistan. When the team failed to make radio contact for a while, the military sent in a special ops team to investigate this incident. Though the branch of the special ops team that they belonged to was never confirmed. The special ops team proceeded to their last locations, which was a remote area high up in the mountains in the region of Kandahar. After some time, the unit came in contact with some scattered army material. However, there was no one in sight. After the special ops team had a look at the equipment, they confirmed that indeed the equipment did belong to the unit that went missing. After seeing this, they proceeded to investigate the cave that was right next to where the army equipment was scattered. Just as the army was proceeding to go into the cave, they were met with a 15-foot giant with red hair who, quote unquote, smelt like dead bodies. Before the men could fathom what they saw, the giant proceeded to kill one of the special ops team member with a spear. The unit then opened fire, ultimately felling the giant with 30 seconds of continuous firing. Between them, the squad was armed with fully automatic M4 carbines and M107 Barrett rifles firing .50 BMG. One of the squad members claimed that using that much firepower concentrated on one target for 1 second, leave alone 30, would be extremely destructive. After the troops killed the giant, they loaded it onto a Chinook helicopter which carried it to a transport plane where no one ever saw the giant again. According to the reports, the soldiers were then asked to sign non-disclosure agreements to basically keep them quiet about the incident that had occurred. Eventually, the soldiers broke their silence, as one of the men later on went to say that everyone has a right to know what exactly happened in Kandahar. When we search through history, there are several events where stories of giants have popped up in the past. Ragnarok, for example, which was a battle of the gods made epic by Chris Hemsworth's triceps, featured a lot of giants. In fact, a big part of Norse folklore talks about giants roaming the earth. Now, the million-dollar question is the story of the Kandahar giant true or not? Honestly, like every conspiracy theory or legend, you have to have some sort of trust in the storyteller. In this particular case, the eyewitness was a certain Mr. K, who claimed to have been part of the special ops team that encountered the giant. He states that he personally witnessed the giant killing one of their team members with a spear and was part of the team that helped bring down the giant eventually. Another similar story is that of an infantry team leader who spotted a giant during deployment between 2008 and 2009. The giant spotted would later be known as the Giant of Kandahar. In this instance, the team leader was overlooking a village with his newly mounted thermal scope. As he spanned the valley, he came across a large heat signature which at the time he assumed came from a group of Taliban fighters who had huddled up together. All of a sudden, the heat signature stood up as one being. The soldier recalls that the trees in the area were approximately 10 to 12 feet tall and the giant stood at the same height, if not taller than those trees. The giant's stride was slow and relaxed, yet it moved with incredible speed. Another story is that of an anonymous drone operator who was working in the northern side of Afghanistan during the war. One day, the drone operator was conducting his normal war activities in the area where he spotted three giants that were almost 12 feet in height. They made the goats next to them look like cats. Now, either those were really small goats or the men were huge. In August 2016, the US Department of Defense stated that they had no record or information about a special ops team member being killed by a giant. In addition to this, there's been no press release from the US Department of Defense talking about a group of special ops team members that went missing in Afghanistan or about a special ops team that were involved in killing a giant. Another criticism is that Dan, the supposed soldier who was killed by the giant in the incident in 2002, was actually in reference to a Sergeant First Class Daniel Romero who was killed in a bomb blast along with three other soldiers. Despite these claims, the myth of the giant is still considered an open secret among the veterans who served in Kandahar in 2002. Several veterans who served in that region in 2002 claim to have been instructed to point their guns higher to aim for the head and then slightly higher than that. We may never know for sure if the Kandahar giant actually existed or whether this story is a mere myth. What do you think? Do giants exist? Or is this just another one of those stories that has little credibility? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And like always, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more facts about anything and everything. Thank you.